My name is Doug, and I'm here to go over the percolator that I've made out of some of the things I've seen on YouTube. My fuel, my alien pod, that's my stove and percolator that I'm going to put together in just a second here. I'm going to take my cozy out of the box here. It gets a little tight when it's been sitting in there all day, especially if I put it away a little damp, I've noticed. Dutch beer can pot, coffee grounds, part of my percolator, a grabbing hot pad, filters, windscreen, which we're not going to use today because there's no wind in my house, part of my percolator, lighter, and a sippy lid that I saw on the internet from NCH Hiker 1970. Made that one there. Okay, and in my stove case, or my percolator case, I have my percolator lid. I have my Mini Bull Design Bongo Pro stove, my favorite stove, with perfect feet for cooking on the Dutch beer can. My Livestrong rubber lip protector. Put my stove together here. It's a refillable stove here, so I can constantly fuel it up as I'm cooking. Get everything ready to go here. Lock this on. Nice and tight. Oops, I'm going to need some water here. I'm going to send one of my helpers up to fill me up with water right to this line here. If you can fill it up with water for me while I'm putting the rest of this together, that'd be great. So this is my cozy after I'm done to keep everything nice and warm. This is my pot grabber out of just some aluminum foil for grabbing the pot. It's not the greatest. I'm going to work on that one. But in the meantime here, thank you, helper. Meantime here, I'm going to use some 3/8 inch O-rings here to put my percolator together, which was also an NC Hiker 1970 idea. Great idea. I think I've used everything pretty much the same. There might be some little changes. There's my base. And then I actually put a second one on the base because it holds a little better with just two on there. For some reason that one needs to. I flare out the bottom. I don't know if you can see that. I'm going to bring it up a little closer. That's the flared out bottom so it wouldn't come off. And that's the bottom of a Pepsi can on the very bottom down there. The top of the Pepsi can, another bottom of the Pepsi can is welded in here with some JB Weld. This I want to work on. I'm not sure if JB Weld is non-toxic or not, so my coffee may taste a little funny. But I've done a few of them and had no problem. And JB Weld says on their website it's non-toxic. So we'll see. And I'll explain what that's for in just a minute. Then I'm going to put another O-ring on. Okay, let me get back in the center of the camera here. Put another O-ring on here. This is for the bottom of my pot, and it kind of goes right there. And you kind of get used to it because it's always in the same spot, so it kind of leaves a little ring. This goes in my pot. Oops. Thank you, helper, for the water. Perfect. That goes right on my stove there. And then this will go down in there, but before I drop it down in there, I want to put my coffee in. So I place this on here, and then I place one O-ring on the top of here. And the nice thing is I have a lot of these O-rings here because, you know, in case one breaks in the wilderness, you don't want to have to make do without it because it wouldn't work without them. So I get that extra O-ring on the bottom there, and I have an extra O-ring for the top, and I'll show you what that's for in just one second here, how that works. I use these filters, even though I put all those little holes in the bottom, some of the coffee tends to leak through. So what I do is I have these filters, and oddly enough, they're two sizes. So I take the outside edge off the bottom one. Then I put my coffee grounds on top of that. I'm sorry, I'm blocking everything with the water here, so I'm going to move that over just for a second so we can see what I'm doing here. Putting that down inside there, that first filter. Just perfectly fits down inside there like that. And then I'm going to take and put my coffee grounds on top of that filter, which I have here in a plastic bag. I'm going to try and find a better way to store my coffee as well instead of this plastic bag. And I'll pour in about, I don't know, 2 or 3 teaspoons. I think I'm going to do about 3 teaspoons, maybe 2, I don't know. Just to where I've got a good coating. It depends on how dark I like my coffee. And then what I do is I take another one of these filters, and these filters are like 100 to a pack, and they're so tiny. They don't weigh a thing. So then this one, I don't take that extra rim off there. That extra little piece that I took off before, I don't take that off. Because what happens is that helps it float up the wall a little bit. Keeps it from trying to work its way up the wall as it fills up with water. And also you'll notice I have these holes right here on the side. There's like 4 holes around. Those are pressure holes. I added them after the fact. I tried it without those, and the top kept blowing off. So I put some extra pressure relief holes in there, and my top didn't blow off after that. But all the coffee came out there. That's when I started using the, I'm putting my extra O-ring on top here. This also helps hold down that extra coffee filter as it's filling it with hot water. It wants to rise up. So I started putting that on there to keep it from rising up. It kind of helps. It's not perfect, but I just kind of get it a little level right here. And then we'll bring the stove back into the picture here. It's going to take me 2 hands to move the stove now that I have it all set up. Then I place this in here. That sits right down in there pretty nice. I went a little far down. I have to raise it back up a little bit. I went too far. You can always tell because if it goes down in and you can't get the lid on, you're too far down. So you just slide it up. Work it up with your fingernail. And it's better to be too high than too low because you can always shove it down a little bit. So I think I'm about right. Nah, I need a little more. I think I'm about right there. You kind of get used to where it's at and it grows on you. So I think that's about right. You can test it, of course. Oh, it's not enough. So just a little more. Like I said, it's better to be too high than too low because you don't have to keep redoing it and just shove it back down. I'm just working it up to the top there, getting it up where it needs to be so I can... Harder to work it up once my slippery fingers there. Alright, I think I have it more than high enough. If nothing else, I can always push it back down a little bit. Yeah, there we go. I need that lid to sit above the pot because that's where this comes in handy. The extra piece of soda can there allows the water to drip back down inside this canister, the percolator part, instead of out the edge here and running down the side of my pot. Okay, we have the lid here that we need to put on. It's pointing out that there's a soda pop lid in there. I'm going to try and get it really close so you can see there's a soda pop lid in there inside the canister. Maybe a little hard to see, but we can get close up on that later if it didn't work out. That just fits right over the top of your percolator pot there. And it has a plastic top to it. I guess you could see that. That lets me see it percolating in there, so I know what's going on a little bit. So now we just need to fill the stove up. And the Mini Bowl design stove is really nice. It's a cab-type stove where you just run some fuel in here. And I know you probably can't see it really good, but what happens is the top is a carbon felt. And it just gets a little wet, and then fluid goes all the way to the bottom of that thing. And now that it's damp, you just light it. And it burns with light flame, nothing fantastic, nothing bright. Put something behind it so you can see it a little bit, maybe. I don't know if that helps you see the flame any. Does that help a little bit? Putting that blue tint behind there. That kind of shows you the flame. Now this part takes a long time to get it heated. According to my clock, it's 6:11. I'll tell you what time it is when the starts to come to a percolate, and we'll get an idea of what kind of time frame we're at here. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the camera off here while I wait that 10 to 12 minutes for it to start to percolate. Go ahead and power it down, and we'll just wait it out. I just wanted to get a quick view of when the stove is running out of fuel and you need to refuel it. We're at 6:18, and you can see that little orange glow in there. There's probably 2 or 3 of them coming across the bottom there. That usually indicates that your fuel's starting to run out, and it's about time to refuel the stove. So what you would do to refuel the stove is you take your bottle and you turn it with the nipple down, and then you give it a little squeeze just until you see the fluid start to come up to the top there. And we were just about there, and you get a little bit of a glossy look. Oh, like that, perfect. I don't know if you can see that, but now you're good to go for another 8 minutes or so. And we'll be back in just a little bit because it's like I said, it takes about 15 minutes to start percolating, and we don't have any about 10 minutes to start percolating. So we're just about there, but maybe another 3 minutes or so.